Hi there, I'm back again. I'm here to tell you that being a man of integrity, a man of your words, a man with self-love, self-hatred will turn you to be a beast. Believe in doing things right. Whenever you do things right, believe in yourself. Make sure that whatsoever that you do, you put it under your positive consciousness. Because the problem is that we are hating ourselves to such an extent that we don't understand who we are. I was under attack. The devil was trying to kill me, where I was about to be involved in a serious crash accident, whereby I managed to make it out of that scenario, whereby I was supposed to hit a taxi, and what was going to happen, I am pretty much sure that was going to be a fatal damage. But thanks to my God, because in my own space and in my own understanding of the divinity of thinking about what God has put in me and in everybody and even in you, it's that you speak the word in order for things to happen. And then God have managed to take me out of that particular situation without any harm. But what happened is, I realized that whatsoever that you say, whatsoever situation that you come across, it now depends on the word that you utter. Once you utter the word, and then something shall happen according to the word that you say. So what I'm about to say here is that be your own prophet. Be your own prophet. When the Bible says, I want to quote the verse on the Bible, and please go and read that verse, and then you'll get to understand that unlocking the higher dimensional thoughts, and then entering into the place of power whereby you feel like a king in your own closet. Each and everybody in a spiritual realm has got their kingship, whereby they build their own palace to become their kings in their own castles, and their wives becomes their queens. Because whenever you create something in a spiritual form, in your logical thinking, and come to pass whereby you live your life in a way that you create it in a spiritual form first, it come to manifest in the body, and people will start to wonder, how do you do things? You need to grow to this level of wisdom, whereby you don't rely on your own wisdom anymore, but then rely on the higher dimension wisdom, whereby now you speak the unspeakable words, whereby people will say, looking at your physical self, tending to wonder, how did you make it? It's not about yourself anymore, but it's about the inner person, whereby you descend and transcend time, whereby you are not afraid of time anymore. Because time is the weapon used by the devil in order to defeat you. If they tell you that you're going to die next week, what you're going to do? You're going to start trembling. Now, when you start trembling, what you're going to do? You're going to start making wrong decisions. I'm going to tell you now, this body is just the license of walking on this earth, but I'm going to tell you that the inner person has got the authority and the license to live the eternal life. But now the question is, if you're going to the eternal life, who are you going to live with? Because now there's two places. Remember, there is paradise and there is Hades. That's whereby you need to decide now. Now, for you to go to understand and go deeper into those kind of things, you need the divine wisdom. It's not just, don't rely on your own wisdom, but go tap into the place of cracking the codes of thoughts, whereby you're going to see yourself descending into deeper things. When I say you must become a prophet, Joel 2 verse 28, it is telling you that in the end times, God shall give the spirit of prophecy to each and every flesh. So in other words, as long as you are still flesh, you are a prophet. So if you are a prophet, I'm going to tell you now that you are a prophet, but you don't qualify as yet to be the prophet to go out there and prophesy people. You need to prophesy yourself. Once you reach to that particular level whereby you are now prophesying upon your own life and then seeing things manifest in the flesh, you now must know that you are entering the higher level of prophecy. But firstly, you need to prophesy yourself and be real to yourself in order to go out there and speak the unspeakable words, and see people will see it becoming the reality, because you have entered, you will be given the office of prophecy. But now you are given the prophecy of self-prophesying, but not going out there and prophesy people. What am I saying? Is that each and everybody creates a realm whereby we become our own selves in our closets. In your closet, you become somebody that people doesn't know. You might see me today, but then at a certain space where you're going to see me maybe in front of the congregation, I'm somebody else because I'm under the influence of something. But now the question is, what influence that influences me to go thoroughly into those things that I will be speaking? Now, that is where the spiritual life comes in, because you need to be spiritually tap into the place whereby you seek to understand the beyond things, where the unseen things, because now we are interacting every day with the unseen world, whereby when you dream, you ask yourself about the dreams. The dreams doesn't come just like being dreams. They come under the influence of something, because something you are being shown in the dream, but then in the spiritual realm, something is happening. What am I saying? The inner person interact with the spiritual beings, whereby things are being done in you, or maybe things are being shown to you, the future, or maybe the past, or things that will happen to somebody else. What am I saying? You need to interact, you need to go deeper, and then now try to find out how to stop things. If it's a bad thing that's going to happen to somebody, the dream, your guardian angel will make by all means to show you and give you that video in order to understand that something is going to happen, it's about to happen. That's where you're entering the office of prophecy. You need to be somebody who listen to the Spirit. How is to listen to the Spirit? Listening to the Spirit, it's so deep. You need time with yourself. Here is now the conclusion. You need time to spend time with yourself. A lot of people, they enjoy spending time with other people. The moment they are by their own, you know what is happening? They become stressful because they want to think about their negatives. They want to think about their problems, think about their poverty. Your lonely time, you don't have to bring up those negative things. Be always positive. Try to crack the codes in order to enter the place of reasoning capacity, lifting it up in order to think and correctly see the secret things which are hidden. Like for an example, biblically, we have the Bible as we know, but there are books that are lost from the Bible. You need to go out there and research. Did you know that we have the book of Thomas? The book of Thomas is not in the real Bible that we read. We have the book the book of Enoch. It's not in the Bible. You need to go deeper and find. And then the question is, before you go deeper and seek and find research for those books. Now, the question is, why are they taken out from the scriptures? It's simply telling you that there are some information which is hidden that they don't want you to know. Because once you know that information, it means you will be exposed to the real truth about yourself. Because as a black person, as an African, each and every person in the world, they imitated ourselves because our spirituality is so much higher in order to tap in God himself. What am I saying? Everybody, the Western belief, European beliefs, they're imitating Africans. Why? Because we are so high in the spirit. So once you get all those secrets, you will find out that they were disconnecting us from connecting to the real God himself. Because once we are connected to God, we become so dynamic in a way that there is nobody is going to stop us as Africans. Because for them to distract us, they didn't want us to know who we are. Because spiritually we interact with God, but they cannot. For them to interact with their God, they need to go deeper and use a black man and use a black race in order to find and to follow the roots and the systems of connecting into the spirits. What am I saying? This is the divine information whereby people need to get back to themselves. Start loving themselves, because self-hating yourself, it means you have the wrong concept of yourself. The perception of this life you don't reach unless you know who you are. Because you are the real person that descend in the spirit and see things in different dimensions. What am I saying? Black people, African people, we were given the spirit to tap into the place of power, interact with God himself. What am I saying? Before the missionaries, we used to do the incantation, we used to go and do rituals for the rain to come. We were interacting with God. But now what is happening? They cancelled all those things in order to deactivate our power to connect to God. If you understand my fact, the missionaries, when they came, they took that away from us. All our spiritual aspects and connection, they took it away in order for us to disconnect from God himself. We were robbed of our God, robbed of our culture, robbed of ourselves. We are now trying to live the Western culture. We are living the Western spiritual culture instead of living the African spiritual religions. So the religion has got the power for us to give us our conception, our perception of ourselves in order to get back to who we are, originally who we are. We need to we need to bring back the systems of downloading our minds and to be our real selves, dedoctrinate all those who were doctrinated by the Western religions in order for us to be who we are. We need to get back to the real systems of Africans. We need to teach ourselves the institutions of Africans in order for us to get back to the track whereby we understand who we are. Because each and everybody today, he or she wants to be Western. We want to live the Western culture. We want to look as Americans. Are they looking as us? Are they imitating us? Spiritually, they deactivated us because they saw that we are overthrowing them when it comes to spirituality. But what about the outer person who want to be Europeans, who want to be those Americans? But are they becoming us? That is the question. Thank you, folks. We need to break the codes of discrimination. An African child need to be an African child. Back to it's our origin. We need to bring back our rituals, bring back ourselves, know who we are. Indeed, Jesus is the Messiah. That's according to the book. But I'm going to tell you that we are robbed of the real name of the Messiah, Yeshua. I'm not about that today. We need to get back. One of the good days we need to discuss the white Jesus. We need to discuss who we are. And then we and the Western cultures, how do we mend together? We cannot cook on the same pot because we are Africans and they are Western. So we need to get back to that. We are robbed of our God. They put our God in our systems, in our brains, in our minds, in order to think that we think like Western instead of thinking like Africans. Thank you, folks. This is the time, high time, where African child needs to get back to their roots, understand who they are. All these detrimental things need to fade away because we are Africans, not Western. Thank you, folks. Thank you very much. Have a good one. God bless you.